what you heard? Spread the word. Manifestation is in the belief. It ain't the thing, it's how you look at it. Now that's thought healing. Tap into you.
All right. Okay. Well, we are live here, StreamYard. Welcome to the Awareness Shift Energy Exchange podcast. I'm Dr. Anita, and I am here with my very special guest. I got to say my friend, too, because we've been knowing each other since high school. What was that, yesterday? Anita, Elder Anita, just yesterday. Yeah, just yesterday. So before we get going, I want to put on the comments so that people that come, they want to share some information or respond and give their feedback. Okay, so yeah, like I said, I've been knowing Anita for a minute since high school, and it's something because we hadn't seen each other for years, and then when I went to go. In my searching for myself, I ended up taking massage therapy. And come to lo and behold, when I go to the school to get my instruction and all that kind of stuff, who do I run to? I see Anita, and she's there as a massage therapist instructor. So Elder Anita has been in the health and the healing and the complementary alternative treatment modalities for a long time. So she is expert in what she does. And before we get into things, I want to read my very special friend, my sister. I want to read her journey. All right, so Anita Norwood is an ordained elder at Zion Church of Fredericksburg, Virginia, where she serves virtually. She is a health education specialist with 30 plus years of experience in health promotion, education, and wellness, licensed massage therapist and cosmetologist. She taught massage therapy at a vocational school for 11 years while maintaining her private practice of therapeutic massage and skincare. As she engaged in the operational responsibilities at Intuitive Touch Wellness Center, which she founded, Anita became aware of being called to ministry and was licensed as a minister in April 2000. While serving in the church, Anita became more cognizant of educating others about health and healing according to the Word of God. In 2013, she decided to combine her passion for ministry, health education, massage, complementary, and alternative health care and formed Intuitive Touch Healing Arts Center. Her mission is to enlighten, empower, and raise awareness about holistic health to assist the community with improving their quality of life, to promote health and well-being in an environment that is conducive for healing of mind, body, and spirit. Anita attained knowledge of health promotion and natural healing arts both formally and informally, utilizing her education and experience in the healing arts to manage candida. Did I say that right? Candida?
Candida, yes.
Overcome a degenerative kidney disease, breast cancer, two-time survivor, and other health challenges by employing allopathic as well as naturopathic healing modalities. Anita obtained a Master of Science degree in health education, Bachelor of Arts degree in biblical studies, and massage practitioner diploma from Health Enrichment Center. In addition, Anita is certified as a complete decongestive therapist for lymphedema, digestive enzyme health specialist, and
Bellavi
facelift massage therapist. Throughout the years of her career, she has continued her education in the healing arts and natural health care at Trinity College of Natural Health and by taking additional continuing education classes to further her skills. Recently, she has added bioacoustics training and bioenergetic practices to her repertoire. Elder Anita is happily married for 49 years to Paul Norwood Sr. with a blended family of 5 children, 12 grandchildren, and 14 great grandchildren. Oh, that just gave me chills. 14 great grandchildren. Her journey has been filled with many opportunities, health, and family challenges. She recognizes God as her pilot in life. Anita enjoys gardening. Oh, Lord have mercy. I don't know why I'm getting full. Anita enjoys gardening, crocheting, reading, walking, and spending quiet time with the Lord. Psalm 46:10 is a favorite scripture. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. That is Anita's, her story, her journey. And I don't know why, Anita, I did. I just started getting filled with 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 I don't know, just full of in reading your journey, um, because it's so clear. It's so clear that health education is just your passion of yours, and it has been. One thing that I found, and I wanted to start with, is that I love how you said how you integrate allopathic as well as naturopathic. So many times I hear, if someone is holistic, it's kind of like they down kind of diminish the importance of traditional health care. And then if someone's in the allopathic setting, they kind of don't take naturopathic or holistic medicine important. I want you to explain how your concept, and how did you integrate the two? Yeah, share that, because I found that very interesting when I read that.
Hmm. That's a good question. How it started. I guess the beginning of that, the full impact of it hit me in 1996 when I was diagnosed with a kidney disease. And I began with the conventional medicine, doing, everything allopathically. And I began to see things occur that I did not like, where I was taking the medication, it was causing other side effects that I was very uncomfortable with. So I continued reading, studying. I attended a herbal garden tour with a friend of mine. And from that, I got a botanical medicine book. And that particular book, as I began to read and study that, addressed different kidney conditions. And that sparked my interest as to, okay, how can I integrate this with what I am currently doing? Um, and I did. And I pulled back off the medication that I was on, integrated the herbal medication. And I had my nephrologist at the time was totally against what I was doing. But I had another doctor that said, I will follow you. And he monitored me throughout the whole process. And in doing so, he didn't want to know what I was doing, but he would monitor. And in reading my lab reports, he's like, whatever you're doing, keep doing it because it's working. And from that, it grew. And if I began to study more and more and more about holistic, and actually it began before that, but I began to study more holistically and get more serious about some of the holistic things that can be done. I just thought about a time that way back in my life, um, maybe about 6 years post high school, I used to suffer from migraine headaches really bad. And I went to the health food store, and from there I got assistance. So I've kind of tinkered with holistic and herbal healing for years. It's been
Okay.
a long time. So and it's just kind of grown from there a little bit at a time.
Right, right. Okay. Yes, so now when we're talking allopathic and naturopathic, because I believe in both. Yeah, I don't
Mhm.
believe in eliminating one and then just taking the other. As a matter of fact, in researching, I found that it's called adjunct therapy. That's when you're
Mhm.
using, both types.
Mhm.
So let me ask you, and I ask this with a lot of people, as a naturopathic, as a CAM therapist, you know, using healing modality, healing curing modalities, do you believe that with disease and disorder there is no cure?
Um, I can't say that there is no cure. There's some things that you might find a cure for, and then other things are more managed than cured. I guess it would depend on the condition, but we
Okay,
learn to manage and basically to bring the body to a point where the body will heal itself.
it healed itself. Right.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah. And before we go, thank you. I see you guys. I see one, and thank you for the love. Please put who you are so we can give you a shout out. And if you have any questions to ask Elder Anita, please feel free to do so. This is why we're here. Yeah. And you know, Anita, I recently, and share what your thoughts about this too. I recently um learned that healing and curing are two different things. I always interjected them as the same. You know, you heal, you cure, until I realized that healing is one of those that you still have the same situation, but you're at peace with it. That's healing.
Hmm.
Curing is removing the thing.
Hmm.
And I know for me, I've never felt, even, I mean, as far as I can remember as a child, I never felt there was no such thing as a cure. I always felt we just haven't discovered it yet, but it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And I always felt it was going to be in the land,
Hmm.
you know, in nature. I said we might have to go to the rainforest or the deep woods of the Amazon to get it, but it's there. So
Exactly.
that, yeah, that's why I was asking, you know, like what, you know, what's your take? Because I hear so many times people say there's no cure, there's no cure, there's no cure, and I said that's not true. And as long as we, as a collective consciousness, believe that there's no cure, then it's gonna stay from us because we're, you know, we're putting out that energy that there's no cure. So what's your position on that?
My thoughts are that there are some things there that I would say there is a cure for,
Hmm.
um, and then other things that are with you that are more manageable rather than a cure. Um,
God.
for instance, if we take like diabetes, which
Hmm.
so many people are living with that. So
Hmm.
you can learn to live with that by managing the condition through diet, exercise, and things of that nature, along with medication.
Hmm.
It's not going to cure you,
Right.
but it will, you can manage it. And then there are other things that I believe that there are cures for. We just have to learn how to eat, how to maintain our health, or
Hmm.
promote our health in
Hmm.
order to maintain that cure. Uh,
God.
for instance, some cancers, not all, can be eradicated through diet and exercise and different herbal things. However, I will say some of them, once diagnosed, you can't really eradicate it, but you can manage the environment within your body to
Body.
keep from getting it.
Okay.
Because curing, I think also the disease never goes away. The condition never goes away. It's how we manage it that makes the difference.
Okay. Juliet. Hey, Juliet. Hey, beautiful sister from the UK. She says a chronic illness needs better management and support. Absolutely. I would agree with that. I really would agree with that. That management. Yeah. So now you mentioned that you had a kidney disease.
Hmm.
So, and two, bless you. Thank you guys. Thank you. Love and appreciate you. So with are you saying that you still have the kidney disease?
No,
What happened with
I
it?
have no evidence of it.
Because I've heard so much. I've heard because they were diagnosed me with kidney disease, and I said and they said there's no cure. I don't believe that there's no cure for anything. I really just don't
Yeah.
believe that. So are you saying that you still have it, or you were cured, or what's your position?
You know what? That's a really good question to bring that one out. I do not have it. I
Okay,
can say with that, I've been cured. I
that's what
changed,
curing is.
and doing that, I changed my diet. I changed the way I exercise,
Okay.
and there are different things that I put into my body that helped me to eradicate it. It took
Yeah.
2.5 years to do it. But
Okay.
it was done, and I did it naturally because I pulled off the medication because I was uncomfortable with all the side effects that the medication was giving me. So I
Right.
pulled off medications against the nephrologist's
Right.
recommendation, but
Right.
I used herbal supports, and I was monitored by another doctor um, in terms of how my kidneys were functioning. And
Got.
after 2.5 years, my kidneys came back full function.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Now, and we're talking allopathic and naturopathic and holistic and everything. So let me ask you, because we're talking cure and healing, how much would you say that whatever term you use, I'm just going to use the more, I guess, more common term. How much would you say God had something to do with this?
I believe God had everything to do with it. Because again, with the faith part of it, if we don't get the mind where it needs to be, then nothing else happens.
Right.
So it was a conglomerate of things that I used along with my belief in God that helped me to get to that point of healing. Uh,
Okay.
and it becomes a very mindset.
Right.
You by our faith, so it be done unto us. So I
Right.
had to believe it first that it could be done before I could get there. And
Okay.
that allowed me to use, or not allowed me, but I used a number of things. I meditated. I
Mhm.
used music. I used a number of things in that whole healing journey, and I
Mhm.
still do, to maintain my health and bring it back to homeostasis, the body back. So it
Yeah.
was just everything, but the belief part of it is critical, and it can't be done without.
Right. Absolutely. I still agree. Believe in something of
Mhm,
higher than ourselves
mhm,
that's helping. Because one thing with mine, I know because this is just recent. But when it was stated that this is what I had. One thing that, and share with me, I don't know if this was a method for you, but uh, one thing that I did, because I'm a metaphysician. So
mhm,
one thing that I did, I, I, I thought about how I can see outside. I can see my daughter's picture. I can see these frames on the wall, and inside of that, I said, now if I can see on the outside with my eyes, why can't I see what's on the inside?
mhm,
So what I did, I asked Spirit, 'cause that's just me, that's the word. I asked Spirit to help me see on the inside. And I saw that one of them, my feminine one, which was, the nurturing side,
mhm.
that one was shrunk. So then as the metaphysician, I said, okay, I need to go soul deep and figure out what's going on. And then what came to me intuitively is that I shrink away from stuff and I need to stop shrinking away. So when I started working on that, then and exercising and I got supplements from her name is Ashara. She's a health person. She does these supplements and everything. But that really helped. And then when I went back to the doctor, not he's strictly allopathic because the last time when I was there. But anyway, when I went in there, he saw the results. He said, "What is it that you did?" I said, well, one thing I said, I visualized and did, exercise and stuff. And he said, oh, yes, it's that exercise that did it for you. I said, and visualization. So what, what, oh, then before we go, Juliet says holistic approach is good in medical model, and this needs to take into consideration the patient client. Doctor and patient relationship is healing process. Absolutely. The doctor and patient relationship in the healing process is so very important. I so agree.
It
What
is.
do you say to that, Anita?
It is. When you have a doctor who is willing to um, allow you the space to do your part holistically, herbally, or whatever you do, and then support you with pharmaceuticals if that's your desire, just or even just support your belief in that,
Right.
it works a lot better. And the two can then come together and say, well, okay, you're doing X, Y, and Z. Let me tweak it with this. And it works so much nicer when you have that kind of support. Uh, when you have a doctor who will listen, who will believe or give you the space to even believe what you believe
Mhm.
without saying no, that's nonsense, that's foolishness, you should
Right.
do this. It just makes the process a lot easier. At least it did for me. It made the process a lot easier. I've had both, where I've had
Mhm.
physicians who just poo-pooed everything that I was doing holistically and said, that's not going to work. You're crazy, this, that, and the other. And then I had
Mhm.
physicians who supported everything that I was doing and tweaked it and said, go for it. You got this. One thing
Absolutely.
that you brought up too was the visualization. That was critical for me too, to the point where I would pull down pictures of healthy body parts, healthy kidneys,
Yeah.
because at first I was so focused on, oh, what does the disease look like? What is it
Ah,
doing? And I,
right.
I looked at the a diseased kidney and this, and then I was reading the word, and God said, keep his word before you, and that will bring health to you. And I said, yeah, well, if his word will bring health, let me put the picture of what the healthy kidney looks like in front
Good
of myself. So
idea.
I had the word, all the healing scriptures in front of me. I had healthy kidneys in front of me. And that became my focus as opposed to the disease.
Gotcha. So you did a shift in your mind, in what you were thinking.
Absolutely.
Okay, so it's one of those. It wasn't the kidney disease. It was how you were
It
look,
was,
how you chose to look at
it was how I was thinking that
it, how
made it.
you were thinking. That's beautiful. And thank you so much. We have three now, so please, post your questions. This is so cool.
I
Thank you
love it.
so much. Okay. Now, what I found interesting too. Well, let me go on this because this came up. I want to ask you, when because you deal with herbs and everything,
Yeah,
and essential oils and all of that. When you because you said you were two-time. Let me
yes,
make sure I got that right. Two-time breast cancer survivor, right?
that's correct.
Okay, that's okay. What can you share with us? What are the things that you did to,
Okay. The
yeah,
first time I was diagnosed with breast cancer, I went totally herbal. So I,
okay.
I
Can you share some of the herbs that, I don't,
God, it was so many. It was herbal as well as vitamins. And so I was on a whole regime of multivitamins, vitamin D. Um, oh, God, it was a lot. And just getting in the right nutrients through foods. I juiced.
okay,
So vegetables, it was like juice, 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 so I did a lot of juicing. Um, what else? Um, and I did the herbal supports as well. And
okay,
one of the critical herbal supports that I used was graviola. And
oh,
I used some other herbs from the rainforest that also were critical. When I took everything, I had this little lunch bag, and I took everything into my doctor so she could see what I was doing. And
mhm,
she looked at each and every one and she said, that's good. I just need to give you this. And she tweaked it with a supplement, and I can't remember the long name of it right now, but it's
Right.
DIM. And then I, made sure I got my vitamin C. And at that time, she suggested uh, vitamin C Myers cocktail to take the
Oh,
Myers cocktail to get Myers cocktail on a regular basis through IV. I
so what
couldn't.
is that though, before you continue? What is a Myers cocktail? What is
Yes,
that?
Myers cocktail is MYERS, and it's a
Hmm.
IV uh, supplement that you get, and you get it through intravenously, and it's a cocktail of vitamins, but mainly vitamin C. So
Gotcha.
yeah, it's a lot. And at the time, I could not afford that, along with everything else that I was doing, because I also had a compound that I had to rub on the breast area that of CoQ10, and that was quite expensive. It was for 4 ounces, $160. This
Whoa.
was back in 2006. So,
Okay.
and I was spending roughly about $400 a month in supplements.
Okay.
So it got kind of taxing financially for me, but I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make it through some kind of way. God will show me what I need to do. And
Right.
at that time, I learned how to compound my own cream. So I got in
Yeah.
my kitchen and I made my CoQ10 cream up to compound it myself, so I wouldn't have to pay that 160.
Bless your heart.
Oh, I had to learn how to do that. So you learn how to do things differently. Sometimes, what they say, some of the best things are discovered in adversity. So
Right.
I learned how to do that. But I think some of the main things that helped me through that was the vitamin C, um, the graviola, a couple of other herbs, as well as juicing, and just staying on that regimen, and removing as many sweets and sugars as possible. So I
Okay.
removed that from the diet and just stayed on that regimen. Again, that was another 2-year journey. So it took 2 years, but I eradicated the cancer.
Wow. Okay. And when you used or created your own, um, how often would you use it every day, or
Every
how
day,
many times per day?
once a day, every day. Mhm.
Okay.
Once
Okay.
a day, every day.
Every day. Now, what would you suggest? Okay, say I have a doctor, and that doctor, they do poo poo, any of the allopathic, naturopathic things. However, I want to use them. Would you, but I'm shy in sharing with my doctor the things that I want to use as an adjunct method with with the traditional medicine, the allopathic, but
Mm-hmm.
I want to show my doctor what I'd like to incorporate. But I know that my doctor wouldn't do it. I'm very uncomfortable showing my doctor what
Hmm.
I want to do. What would you suggest to me as a patient or as a client coming to you saying, "Hey, this is, I'm really torn between this, and
Yeah.
I really want to try these adjunct naturopathic things."
Yeah.
What would you share?
I would probably tell you to find a new doctor, in short, because you aren't going to change that doctor's mind. You have
No.
some doctors that are dead set that, oh no, that's not going to work. Da, da, da. You have to do this, 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 this. And if they are not going to hear you and they don't respect what you are bringing to the table as well, then it's time to find a doctor who will listen. And that's what I did the first time I was diagnosed with cancer. I had
Mhm.
one doctor who found it and was dead set against me seeing, um, treating naturally, I should say. And
Okay.
um, that doctor was like, no, 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 to the point where um, uh, how can I say, where she basically said, indicated, let me say, she didn't say it, but indicated that it would be, if another doctor treated me, it was against medical advice or non-conducive for,
For
you know,
your
for myself. And I went, but it's my body, my choice,
right,
my
right.
body, my choice. And right down to saying, no, you shouldn't do that, don't do that. But I totally ignored it. You know, when you do something like this, you have to put the naysayers behind you and get
Yeah.
them in your ear. And I went to another doctor, and my initial doctor who diagnosed it wanted to know, what kind of doctor is she? I guess, you know, because in Michigan, they don't recognize naturopathic doctors. So I
Mhm.
guess she wanted to make certain, is this a medical doctor or, you know, somebody you're going to, you know, in the neighborhood
Right.
or what? And it was a medical doctor. She's a DO, and
Hmm.
which they have the same training MDs have, you know. So I went to her, but she was also open to integrative medicine and holistic medicine and practiced it.
Hmm.
So I went to her, and I had the same test. Now, she did integrate other care. She had me
Okay.
go get a biopsy. She had me get MRI every 6 months so we could check it and follow to see if this cancer was, you know, regressing or just what was happening. So I went through
Hmm.
the same procedures and had to go every 6 months to get that MRI, but to
Hmm.
follow it and to make certain that I was headed in the right direction. And at that point, if I'm not in the right direction doing what I'm doing with the supplements, then it's time to make some other decisions.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it wasn't aggressive. So, you know, I had that opportunity. Now, I will say in the event it's an aggressive thing, then
Hmm.
there's some more different things we have to do.
Absolutely. You
Because
got
if you're diagnosed with an aggressive cancer, that's a whole different ballgame.
right. Then you got to get aggressive with it.
Right. The sec-
Right.
yeah, the second time I was diagnosed with cancer, because people are probably wondering, what did I do? The second time I was diagnosed, and it was the same type of cancer, DCIS.
Okay.
I can't recall what that means right now.
Hmm.
Is there ductal carcinoma in situ? Uh,
Okay.
so I was diagnosed again with the same thing. However,
Hmm.
more tissue was involved. It was at a time in my life where I couldn't begin to wrap my head around treating naturally. I had just lost both my parents, and I said, you know
Okay.
what? I can't go through this, not trying to do what I was doing. So I treated
Right.
conventionally. I had a bilateral mastectomy and reconstructive surgery.
Okay.
Did not have to have radiation, and I did not have to have chemo.
Okay. Bless your heart.
None of that was involved at all. The doctor was like, nope, we don't have to do that.
All
And
we have to do is just do this part.
yeah, and I did engage in some things that I believe helped,
Hmm.
um, using energy. So I
Okay.
used post electromagnetic energy. I am a believer in using those kind of techniques and
Share with us what that is.
um, bioelectromagnetic energy. You know, without getting into this, all the electrical components, basically, it was a pad that I would lie on and set the frequency, electrical frequency for the body, because our bodies are, you know, are electric. And
Right.
I set that frequency for a particular time. I did some research and study and found a study how they treated cancer, and some of it involved using a frequency for a particular length of time. And I
Right.
did that prior to my surgery, uh,
Hmm.
every day for
Hmm.
half hour to an hour every day. By the
Okay.
time it got to the time for my surgery, the doctor told me, the breast surgeon said it's going to be about a 4-hour surgery with
Mhm.
both, between the plastic surgeon and the breast specialist.
Mhm.
They were in and out in 45 minutes.
Wow.
And the
Yeah,
doctor said it was just sitting right there, ready for us to take the
just
tissue.
pluck it out.
So you know, I have to attribute that to the electrical treatments that I had given myself as well.
Yeah, I can see that because okay, now I forget, but from what I remember, um, the Earth and human frequency is about the same. It's not that big of a difference, and
Mhm.
I think the human body frequency is like 647 hertz or something like that.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but 9.7 comes in my mind.
Okay,
But
maybe that's what it is.
nine
Six
point eight
nine.
three, or but it's real close to the Earth's
Oh,
frequency.
okay. Maybe that's yeah. Okay, yeah. I'll go with what you're saying more. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. It's just I couldn't remember. Yeah, because so yeah, I can imagine that that would have played a very big, a major part
Mhm.
in that 45-minute thing. Now let me ask you too, because I know you've been a massage therapist for a long time.
Mhm.
What's your, one time we took massage therapy as a luxury, and then it became that people were saying, wait, massage therapy is a necessity. Do
Mhm.
you agree that massage therapy is a necessity, and if so, why?
Absolutely. I believe it is a necessity. And I believe that because when you get a massage, you're manipulating tissue, but you're also moving everything in the body and helping the energy to flow through the body the way it should. You're releasing energy blockages. And I am a believer of Eastern theory that believes that disease begins in the energy realm long before it's
Absolutely.
manifested physically.
Yeah.
So if we can get things that, or use things that contribute to the energetic body and eradicate things in that fashion to assist with massage by moving the energy through the body, I think we can avoid many, many conditions and diseases.
I do too. I do too.
Yeah, if we, releasing those blockages, because
Mhm.
every organ in the body responds to energy.
Because
So,
it is energy.
exactly. So if you can, eliminate those blockages using massage therapy or reflexology or whatever, or acupuncture, whatever you might use, then you're going to prayerfully, you'll get to a better state of health.
Absolutely. Now, with this is so interesting. So now, okay. So thank you, Anita. So with the energy, because when you were talking, I was thinking about the mitochondria, and
Mhm.
I remember reading how when things are genetic um, um, versus hereditary, whatever. But when we go into the mitochondria, I read something about, I forget the name of the book and I didn't even finish it, got halfway through, but it was saying something about how when you touch on that energy, because everything is energy, it first starts with an atom and then the molecule, the cell, tissue, organ. And so when you get down, it's almost like in order to address the issue in the tissue, you got to put the well in the cell. And when we're concentrating on that, on the deeper, the electric deeper part, when we're going into the molecule and the cell of all of that, then that's hitting that energy of that cell, and that can be transmuted into something healthfully. And that's what we're saying. That's why a lot of times they were saying that's why meditation works, because you're putting yourself in that state where something about that state. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. You're
Okay, which
putting yourself in the state of mind where you're, even your thoughts are energy.
hmm
Thoughts are energy. Prayers are energy, and
hmm
you're bringing in a frequency through thought, through prayer, that can shift the cells in the body, and
okay,
that alone can shift, to shift to a better state of health by, thinking differently, doing differently, because that thought then is projected through every cell. So if I can think myself sick, I can think
Absolutely.
myself well, you know.
Right.
So yeah, everything impacts it, and the electrical components that we use, those things impact our body as well, and it can impact it negatively or positively. um,
Mhm.
and we are around so many electrical components that
Mhm.
oftentimes we don't take time to think that, what, I need to recharge, I need to reset my body the same way we
Right.
might reset a computer. uh,
Absolutely.
we need that same reset. We need that to bring in the positive things with the energy that will shift the health in the body, and to
Oh,
reach our own selves.
okay. And on that note, that's very bless your heart. So we have five people, and that's I just love it. I We have five people watching. To reset, can you share with us what methods can we do to reset that that are practical
Right.
without spending a lot of money and all that kind of stuff?
On a very simple level,
Hmm.
take off those rubber bottom shoes, get some leather bottom shoes, or go barefoot in the grass,
Hmm.
stomp your feet, and just stomp like a 2-year-old having a temper tantrum.
Okay.
And it discharges that negative, for lack of better term,
I
discharges that energy back into the earth. That those things that are making you feel bad, even if you're angry about something and really supercharged angry about it, you
hmm
want to get rid of that, because when you are angry, anger suppresses the immune system for 8 hours. So anything you come in contact with within that next 8 hours after you've
right.
had an angry outburst, you're subject to get. So you ever notice that when you get angry and you don't get it together, uh, oftentimes we get sick afterwards. You get a cold, or you come down with the flu. And if you think back, you may have been angry right prior to it.
Right.
Go
Oh wow. See,
outside.
that self-awareness boy is
Yeah.
deep,
Go,
ain't it?
go outside, get barefoot, or either get some blue ballet shoes, something with a leather bottom, so you can stomp and get and discharge that into the earth. That is probably one of the most simple ways that, and cost effective ways, that we can discharge the negative energy, and then let the earth transform that, and then
Right.
spend some time in nature to pull on the good energy that the earth has to bring. Get
God.
off the concrete, get on that earth.
You mean like the grass and
Get on the grass, dirt, that you got to get to the earth in some
okay.
form or fashion. The rubber soles, just like insulation around a wire, rubber
Uh-huh.
rubber soles insulate it and keep you from getting that energy that's much needed from the earth.
You answered my question. I was going to ask what's the difference between leather and the rubber.
Yeah, leather is a natural fiber, and
Oh,
it's going to absorb rather than keep the energy from it.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, you guys hear that we have six now. Do you see? To reset ourselves, just like Elder Anita said, that we need to reset, just like a computer. All we have to do is take our shoes off or put some leather shoes on, leather bottom,
Leather
just
bottoms.
stomp on the earth like we're having to let that little girl, that little boy come out and say, okay,
Leather
I'm
bottoms.
just jump, just stomp on the on the earth. That because the earth can handle it. I mean,
Yes.
that's yeah, it's just so plentiful and a plethora of good energy to say, hey, we can handle this thing, we can deal with it because
That's
we're one anyway. Okay, I want to because we're getting it's four. Oh wow, see, it's already 44 minutes. Just quickly because I found it interesting that you are a licensed massage therapist as well as a cosmetologist, and I want to know what was the reason for the both.
How did that
Did I
happen?
either see one or the other?
The cosmetology came in before the massage therapy. Um,
Oh, I didn't
I
know
was
that.
working for an institution, and I saw that our children, mainly our little black children, needed care, hair care, because they were getting timeouts. 6-year-old black girls getting a timeout because they didn't comb their hair in the morning.
Okay.
And I'm like, they don't know how to comb their hair in the it's like most of us do not learn to do our own hair until we get close to teenage years.
Right,
It's
right.
like there's a reason for that, because and I would ask my uh, European constituents, let me ask you this: have you combed it? Well, no, I don't know how to do it. What makes you think that 6-year-old little black girl could?
Right.
So there was a hole there, and I wanted to provide the service, be able to. So I said, if nothing else, let me at least be knowledgeable about what I'm doing. So I went to school to become a cosmetologist.
Bless your
During that
heart.
time, and I've always had this innate desire to touch.
Yeah. That
Years
original healing.
years prior to that, my grandmother would call me over to massage her, to rub her feet, just rub me down. And this was years before I got to cosmetology. And then I was Mary Kay consultant, and I always had that desire. Let me just touch your face. Let me show you
Right.
how. And
Right.
legally, you couldn't because you're not licensed.
Right.
So I went to school, got the license, learned how to take care of hair. And I am not a high fashion stylist. Hence the reason you see this. I don't care too much for doing that high fashion style. But if you wanted healthy hair, I could get you healthy.
Right.
And that's what I would focus on, would be the health. So that's how that came about.
How did we
Yeah.
turn? Did your phone turn?
No, my phone didn't turn.
Well, I
Everything
wonder why that did that.
happened. That's
Okay, I'm not sure. That is interesting.
hmm.
Okay. Well, okay. That's I'd be saying we're
And,
gonna roll with it.
but yeah,
Whatever have we. You know what?
and
It's
then
all
after that,
good.
after that, I got that license I can touch, and it just went from there. I was introduced to massage while I was in cosmetology school,
Okay.
and developed a desire for that. One morning, because my massage therapist, who was decided she was going back to school to get her master's in nursing, left
Mhm.
me hanging high and dry after she started giving me massages. And I said, what am I going to do? And I'm up one morning curling my hair, looking in the mirror, and I hear the Holy Spirit speak to me and say, you go. And I said, go
Right.
where? Holy Spirit said, go learn massage.
Right.
Off I went. That was in
Oh, that's right.
1993.
That was 19 when?
1993.
1993. Bless your heart. Yeah, well, I'm just sitting up here, you just looking. I said, look, two Anitas, two bald-headed women.
You see?
And back in the day, we called it quo vadis, two sporting the
No,
quo.
this click. This click. I love it.
I do too. I do too.
I think
Well,
we had
Anita,
some other people that mistake me for you.
oh, they
'Cause,
do.
yeah, somebody at the high school at our 50-year reunion,
Uh-huh.
they said, "No, you were at so and so's place. I know it was you. You da da da." And I said, "No, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. I think it was you."
Might have been. Ain't no telling. Might have been. See,
Yeah,
I didn't even know about our 50 year. I would have went if I'd known. Yeah. Well, you know what? This has been wonderful. Before we wrap up, first of all, I just want to say thank you, Anita. Thank you so much, and I'd love to have you again. I want to thank you guys, all six of you who just hang in here with us. I love you. I appreciate it. God bless you. And before we go, now, one thing I think when I was reading, that's what it was too. You need to write a book if you haven't written one, because you have a lot to offer. You have a lot that we all can learn from you. And can you share with people like whatever, like the work that you do, how you serve people, and how they can get in touch with you, Anita?
sure. Before we go, let me also say thank you for having me.
Oh,
This has been a joy. I've been looking forward to it. So thank you again for inviting me.
Yeah.
And currently, I am a wellness coordinator for a senior living community. I plan their activities and different things to help keep them healthy, whole, and to help promote a long life. You know,
Okay.
oftentimes we get up in age and we become seniors and we think, oh, no, nothing else I can do. And we just sit and vegetate and sit and we die, basically. So rather than do that, live life, learn to live life to the fullest, to the best of your ability, whatever your age may be. So that's
Absolutely.
what I do now.
Okay.
And
And
I came out of retirement to do that.
bless your heart. And one thing I just want to say real quick, because I'm an advocate of this thing. A lot of times I think what people, they feel they're at the end of their life and all this kind of stuff is because that subconscious stigma on the word senior. Because I'll share with people in a minute, I am not a senior because I am not at the end of my life. I am a seasoned adult.
Thank
You
you.
know what I mean? And I
Thank
just think like people, they may say, okay, well, I might as well just sit down because I think they've convinced themselves, even just subconsciously, senior. That means I'm old. I'm at the end. 'Cause when you graduate from high school, before you graduate from high school, what are you, a senior? College, you're a senior before you move on to the next step. So if I'm 68, I'm a senior. So the next step for me is what, my transition. So let me just now I'm just I can't do anything. So I really think we really I think that word really, really, really and I've done research on it that they said that has really done a really
you.
damage
Good job on
on our psyche, that word, when
that.
we attach it to people, mature people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And I'm
yeah,
at
so
the
how
point
can
where I think I'm just beginning.
huh?
I said I'm at the point where I think I'm just beginning.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, I done did what I had to do so many times. Now I'm able to point and choose. I was like, you kidding?
Good time.
So if people wanted to get in touch with you just to ask questions about,
Yeah.
like your experience, if they're experiencing some health challenges, if they just want to get some ideas, how can they get in touch with you?
Okay, I can be reached at area code 313-682-6280. No, if I don't answer, just leave a message and let me know that you are coming as a result or questioning as a result of this show, or through the email intouchhealingarts@att.net.
Okay, wonderful. You guys heard that. So, yep. And so just let her know. Say, hey, I saw you on the energy
That's it.
exchange.
That's it.
Okay, well, thank you, Dr. Anita. Lord have mercy. Thank you, the elder Anita. Thank you, audience. Thank you so much, Juliet. God bless you from the UK. I love you, sister, and just all of you. And I just want to, stay tuned for more. Anita, you going to come back with
I'll come
me?
back whenever you want.
Thank you.
Oh,
All right, that's what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna be keeping this narrative, this journey. So, and thank you guys for tuning in to the awareness shift, the energy exchange with Elder Anita. I had a blast. I learned so much, and I'm so glad that you were with us this day, this morning, this afternoon, this evening, whatever time it is, and wherever you are. So just we know that the journey of self recovery and self awareness all are beautiful. And I hope you know so are you, both he and she, so are you. So touch on that trust, tap into you. Blessings, peace, and
God
love.
bless.
God bless
Thank,
you.
thank you.